comes, kids, ready or not. Part 2 of my Ramblin. Well, here it come, kid. Well, here it comes, kids. Ready or not. Part 2 of my rambling on about songwriting. Well, I did get some comments and 100 some views, so I will continue. I will press on, as they say, in making these videos about songwriting and my thoughts. They're my thoughts, and they're not rules or laws or anything. So I took a couple notes, and the first thing I'd like to talk about is one comment was, well, they liked the music and they asked a couple things about how I made the video, and said, could you include some information about the music biz? Well, I'm the last person that you want to ask about the music biz. Do I know anything about the music biz? Well, I've been playing music, writing songs, recording songs for the last, I guess, about 40 years. And as far as the separation I'm making is songwriting, if you will, the art of songwriting, for lack of a better word, and the commercialization or selling or creating a product with music. That's something that I'm not real good with. Like I said, I know something about it, and I have been involved in some of it and tried. And the one thing I want to say about that is, aside from writing a song, creating, the idea of the music biz, the one thing, the most important thing, is you have to be set up and be ready for some serious rejection. Big time. I have many stories about rejection, songs, the type of artist I was, the way I looked, and advice on what should be done or what you should do, or that always scam of, well, if you pay $25 every time you submit your lyrics, all that stuff. The one thing that people used to say, it's probably still true, if you submit music and somebody wants money to do something with it, that's a whole nother ball game. That's okay, they're doing something for what you're paying them, but they're not doing what you think they're doing. Okay, so that's my little sermon about the music biz, and it's kind of entertaining. I have some interesting stories about rejection, but skipping all that, the other question was from a good friend of mine who's a friend and a fan of my music, and both the solo album I did and our band now, the Bohemian Mechanics. And she asked me, how do you write? Do you write lyrics first or music? So I'll reply to that now. I will do it any and every way I can. Tried and true ways, that doesn't really exist with me. Doesn't really work for me. I'll try anyway, a new way. I might go back to an old way to write a song. So, getting down to lyrics or music, just that simple question. I do both. I write sometimes more and more so lately, in the last few years. At times I'll write complete lyrics and then fit the music to the lyrics. More so in the past, I'd come up with chord progressions or ideas and then fit the lyrics to that. The best thing for me is when both come at the same time. And that's a great thing, and that doesn't always happen. And the other thing about that is, I read a quote, and I think I like it. It's never not write a song. So write the song, whatever it is. Worry about the good and bad later. The other thing about when you write a song, learn to edit. Okay, you write it the first time, you have a first so-called draft or demo. Go back and edit it. It could always be improved. Sometimes it's adding, sometimes it's taking away. That's some good advice. Don't take it personal either. I mean, when criticism, people may, oh, I don't like that, or that's too this or that. Again, that falls under the realm of rejection. You have to decide what's good for you. As far as other methods, really interesting, it could be anything. Like I read a cool thing about Tom Waits said he uses the 5 radio system. And what that is he brings 5 radios, or in the house he has 5 radios on, playing music, different stations. And as all these stations are playing music together, he kind of will hear a snippet of something that might be a combination of 2 or 3 songs that kind of fit. Hey, that's an idea for a song, that little melody or that rhythm or that chord sequence that just happened. Serendipity, kind of, by coincidence, a true coincidence. So that was an interesting thing. There's other methods, as far as lyrics, there's methods for devising lyrics. There's people that write poems or personal stories. Just remember another thing about lyrics. Lyrics really aren't poems. They're something different. A poem could be set to music and sung, but lyrics are different than poems. Lyrics are meant to be the words of a song and not really a poem, although many lyrics rhyme. There are some really cool writers you may not have noticed. Sometimes it doesn't rhyme. Blues singer John Lee Hooker, none of the words rhyme. Lightning Hopkins, I'm referring to blues guys who I love the blues. Very rarely does it rhyme, but it still holds together and has meaning. Don't sacrifice meaning for a rhyme. That's a good piece of advice. So I'll get back to that later. Now I want to talk about some of the materials that you'll use. You can write a great song with 2 chords. I heard a quote from, who was it? I think it was Woody Guthrie. They asked him about, writing music as chords. And he said, well, I generally write songs with 2 chords. And when I want to show off, I use 3 chords. I like that. And I can remember going back and learning other people's songs. And, when I first heard it, I thought, wow, what a great song. I wonder what that is. I realized it's 3 chords. Not always necessarily 1, 4, 5 in music terms, like blues changes, like E, A, and B. But 3 chords. 4 chords. A lot of songs are written with 4 chords. So whatever you have, how many chords you could always use a capo. Find out what a capo is. And I did that when I was a kid, where I knew 5 or 6 chords, and I could play in every key because I was moving my capo up and down the guitar neck. So you don't need a lot of chords to write a song. You could write a song, like I said, some cool blues tunes. I'm a Man, Manish Boy, 1 chord with a riff, like a riff song. So as far as that goes, you don't need a lot of stuff. You just need some stuff, and you got to mix it up right to your liking. And hopefully after you do that, somebody else likes it. That's my advice on that. And I'm trying to think of something else. I think that's all I'm going to say. Wait a minute. I want to get back to the music business. It rears its ugly head once again. The other thing about the music business is you have to be ready for some heavy, pardon my Anglo-Saxon, but bullshit. Sometimes the shit comes down so heavy, you have to wear a hat. That's a quote from Who Stopped the Rain. Great movie. I hope you got something out of this.
Oh, yes, I remember it well. The night the moon rang like a bell. Happened one June as the clock struck 12. The night the moon rang like a bell. Oh, yes, remember it the moon